Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode on the Survival World. That's right, we are back once again, and today I am not over by the witch hut. I will be doing some work over at the witch farm, the witch hub. I want to call it the witch hub because the witch hub sounds cool, right? It sounds pretty cool. Anyway, over here you can see that if you didn't see the previous episode, we basically did an April Fool's episode, and it was kind of cool. I got some pretty positive responses from that, and I really appreciate it. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, that's just gonna be a one-off thing. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not great at, you know, acting all that stuff out. I don't know if you noticed, but you know. Anyway, today we are starting over by the starter base, and that's because I've done a little bit of work off camera that was kind of on camera, but I wasn't really super happy about how the recordings turned out, so I'm going to go through the process once again. And so today what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to be building the bottom floor. Now I've already built some of it, that's why I'm not showing you, but I'm going to do this trench run while I'm talking. I'm going to do the bottom floor, that was dumb. I'm going to do the bottom floor of the witch hub. So yeah, what I'm going to put there is going to be bee related. So I'm going to have a few honey farms, I'm going to have a couple bee breeders, and yeah, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to show you the design for the honey farm I came up with, and the honeycomb farm that I came up with, and I'll be back with you once I have done that. Alright guys, so here is the honey farm design I have come up with. So you can see right down here, this is what I'm going to be doing for the floor. So it's going to be bricks and polished granite along the bottom here. And I'm going to have some stripped acacia logs because I think it looks pretty nice going along there. Something else I want to alter. This is going to be for the bee breeder, which I'll show you in a second. This is what I'm altering. So it's going to go down into two things here. It gets a little bit thick, but I think that's okay because it'll allow us to line up this a little bit easier, and just overall will be a little bit better in the design. Now, it's actually only going to be this. Originally, it was going to be all three of those, but then I realized that this would actually be cut off because it's only 3 block wide sections in the actual thing. So yeah, that is going to be what is there, and you can see here's the redstone for it. I have currently only built this module, but you kind of get the idea. So this comparator detects the honey level. Once it gets to 5, it will activate this dispenser through a block, and it'll get a honey bottle in there, and then this item filter here will take it out of the dispenser. So yeah, some pretty simple stuff right there, and it's a pretty effective design, I do have to say. Now, something else I want to show you is this is the design I came up with for the bee breeder, except I kind of realized it's not the best design, and that is not meant to be like that. Okay, so I've got this little note block here that hides away the behind the scenes area. So you'll just come in here just like so, and you know, you've got this area. This is going to be where the bees go, and you've got these poppies. You can flick these down so that the bees don't come out of the bee nests or the beehives, whatever they're called, beehive. There we go. And then you can go out to the behind the scenes area by hitting this note block, and it extracts it out of here. You'll see. I'll show you the redstone for that in a second. You can also close it up, and you kind of get an idea why that has to extend afterwards. And through this, you can grab the beehives, whatever. However, this isn't really the design I want to go with, to be fair. I don't want to do this design. Now, the main reason for not wanting to do this design is that I want only the baby bees to go into the bee nest. So I want the baby bees to be able to go in, and then we can chuck those in here because the bees don't actually grow while they're in the beehive. They only grow when they're out of the beehive. But yeah, so essentially we're going to have baby bees in the beehive, and the adult bees are just going to be out here because I don't really want a mixture of the two because it'll just take significantly longer to breed overall, and it just won't be good in general. So I'm going to go ahead, try and come up with a better design for this, and I'll be back with you once I have done that. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and come up with a little bit of a different design here, and before I show you what that design is fully, I want to explain how this bottom area is going to be bringing in a lot more reds, and this top area a lot more browns. You'll notice there's not really much red in here other than maybe the redstone lamps. You could consider them red, but we're going to start bringing in some of these blocks as well as some acacia down in the bottom down here, some orangey reddish type thing, and you can definitely see that making an appearance down here for sure. So yeah, that's going to be coming down here. Anyway, Just thought I'd clarify that real quick. So this right here, you can see this is the front wall. It's the same as before. This is all the same as before. However, there's no wall here. You can't access there. We're probably going to have a doorway in instead of one of these modules here. So we just take out that module, put a door there, and you can access the behind the scenes area, which will come over here. And instead of, opening these fence gates, closing them with the risk of them getting out, you hit this note block, and it only triggers them for a second. So you can see there, yep, they'll only open for a second. You have to be right up against it. You can't just, hit it and then walk. That's just not going to work. You have to be right up against it. And that basically stops bees from going through. Now this little contraption here was surprisingly difficult to come up with, but you can see I've got the design here. It's got an observer detecting the note block that sends a signal into this door, which triggers, and that obviously, if we can't really get a view here, that updates those observers, which power both of these fence gates. I went through a bunch of design changes with that. That took a surprising amount of time, but yeah, it's done now. So yeah, I'd say that is the design we are going to go for. Now I'm going to give it a try first. Yeah, this guy doesn't seem to be going, does he? He's not changing levels or anything. That's really, really strange. Oh, there he goes. And there's another one. Where'd that other baby bee come from? Hold on. So there always seems to be one that gets stuck there. Alright, so I've taken this one into the testing world, and this is a bit of a different design. Definitely a different design, but could potentially be pretty cool. So let's take a look at this. So I've got this little setup here that has the bees on some rails that are angled just like so, and if we feed both of them a flower just like that, and then we hit this button, they'll go up and they'll actually create a baby, and then the baby will fly off, and then we can put those down. Now that may work pretty well. However, I've just had another idea of something that could be potentially way simpler, and that is to just have a couple minecarts here, a couple blocks blocking it off on each way, have the bees in these. So if we get a bee in there, okay, he doesn't want to go in. If I just put two bees in minecarts side by side each other, go away, we breed them both together, will they be able to breed? Yes. That is infinitely simpler, and I think that's going to be how I go ahead and do it. So what we can do there is have some beehives here, and we could actually probably just have them all in minecarts that are lined up along here. So if we have all like minecarts all like that, and then we can have one bee nest up here, or beehive up here, and then we can have a poppy or something, some sort of flower. Poppies are just easiest because we have them from the iron farm, right? Anyway, we can have that there, and then the bee should pollinate that, hopefully. That guy's doing it, he's pollinating it, and then go into the bee's nest. And that'll be actually infinitely simpler than what I was trying to do with all the, with all the slabs and all that. That's actually really simple, really easy to do. The hardest part about it is to get the bees in minecarts, which shouldn't be too bad. But we should see, yep, there we go, that bee has just hopped in there. And I guess he's now no longer, unfortunately. Anyway, so if we just manage to get the bees in the minecarts, then this will actually be extremely simple, which isn't... Getting the bees in the minecart isn't super simple. It's a little bit of a pain, but I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try and come up with some sort of a design around this, and I'll be back with you once I have done that. Dramatic reveal time. It's pretty much the same design as before. However, this time it has some minecarts in the floor and no slabs here. So you can see it still uses this cool little note block trick right here, and we'll still have to have a door on the side probably. We probably don't even need to be fair. Yeah, we won't even need to have a door on the side because, yeah, why would we? We just can get rid of this one and just replace it with, those blocks. And if we want to get in between fast like this, we can. I really want to include that redstone contraption, so I'm including it. And obviously the bees will be in here. We just take some poppies out of here, breed them up. The baby bees will go over to some flowers over here. They'll pollinate, go into the beehive. We can collect that and replace it pretty easily. Perfect. Alright, that is the design I'm going to go for. So I guess I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to build the aesthetics for the design and get ready to start putting all of the bees in. It's going to be a little bit of a pain to get the bees in, I'm going to be honest, but yeah, we'll see how well that works. Anyway, I'm going to start building this design up, even though I've already started building a design, and I'll be back with you once we have this design going. Alright guys, so if we head in here, you can see we have all 4 of the modules built here. The only thing we haven't built is obviously the minecarts in here, the beehive, the barrel, okay, there's a lot of things I haven't built, and these doorways here. So I'm going to go ahead, place all of these note blocks in now. I've got to figure out a good way to actually build this. I might need a little, I need a few bits of redstone dust as well. That's not quite going to work. Okay, I'm going to need some scaffolding blocks. Give me a second. Alright, so I've gone ahead and added this block in off camera here because it's a pain to get. You have to jump down, place it as you're falling, and then fly back up. A little bit annoying, but anyway. So we just need to place an observer here, redstone dust there, going into tutorial mode again, of course. Place a block coming off that redstone dust with a door. Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be spruce. And just a couple observers right there, and that should just do the trick. So now if we place these blocks back and place in a couple fence gates, we should see... It's pretty loud, but it does the job pretty well. So now we just need to repeat that design for 3 more times, and... Okay, I just got way too distracted by that notebook. Alright, let me actually get some building done. Alright, and that should be all of these doors in place just like so. I actually just recorded a clip like this, but my game sounds were incredibly loud for whatever reason. So they're still pretty loud, but they're not as loud. So yeah, that's a plus, I guess. Anyway, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to indent the floor a little bit here and add what I need to do for the rest of... you know, where the minecart system is going to go. And what I have just realized is that this actually needs to go back, and I need to put some blocks there. So we'll... Okay, if I just hit it, it doesn't actually activate. Alright, you actually have to right click it. So yeah, I'm just going to destroy some of these grass blocks in here. We got loads and loads of grass, so you really don't have to worry about that. And that's going to go down by 1 block, which I'm actually going to start placing, and I totally messed that up. You can kind of get an idea of why this is the most annoying thing ever, placing blocks downwards. It sucks. It really sucks. Let's see if we can get 2 in 1. And boom, boom. Look at that. Professional. We are starting to run low on fireworks again. Yeah, I have been AFKing a lot at the witch farm over there since the previous episode. I've got a lot of shulkers, and I kind of actually want to show you the bulk storage system I have for those shulkers. I'll show you that in a bit. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead, drop all these down by a bit more. I'm going to need some more blocks for that, and I'll be back with you once I have finished, I guess, yeah, dropping that down, building the walls down a little bit more as well, and yeah, I'll be back with you once I've done that. And 3, there we go. I love having the perfect amount of materials. That was totally on accident. Anyway, we have these blocks dropped down here. Now we just need to put rails on there, or powered rails. I'm probably going to end up using regular rails, but now I guess we just need to get the bees in here, which is probably going to be the hard part, to be fair. That is going to be relatively difficult because if you don't know how rail mechanics work, essentially the minecart has to be moving in order to get it in there. So we might be able to do something like... if we have it along here, maybe, and then have that going up there, we have these bee-powered rails that have a block. We might be able to do that if we can push the bee in the right direction. Not sure. I'm actually also not sure how many bees we have in total. Probably not many, come to think of it. Yeah, probably not many. I think something I want to do for temporarily, because I think we'll end up doing that in the next episode. What I want to do temporarily in today's episode is, you know what, no, I'm going to do it off camera. I'm going to build a honeycomb off camera. The reason I want to build that off camera is because I've got a project for right now that I want to start that hopefully we can get done in the next episode. I know, it's pretty crazy. The project we're going to be starting right now is the Stat Keeper machine. Now, all I want to do is this front panel here. I want to build the front panel that'll have there'll be 3 7-segment displays, that's right, 3 digits. This thing will be 8-bit, so it can hold up to 256 So essentially we can have 256 shulkers go through the system, and it'll keep track of it. 256 shulkers of sticks, that is how many stacks? That is 6,912 stacks of items, and that is just one type of item. If we want to go further, times that by 64, this thing can store up to 442,368 separate items that this thing can keep track of. That's pretty good if you ask me. That's pretty good. So yeah, obviously we can expand this. We probably won't be able to expand the system in the future, but I think that 8-bit will be enough for now, honestly. So I've just done it prematurely, but this is the shulker for all of the materials we'll need. We need all of this redstone in here. We actually need 40 stacks of blocks. I misinterpreted that for 40 redstone blocks. No, we need 40 stacks of, not redstone blocks, but just blocks to, you know, obviously build on, which I might have to do a whole lot of stone gather. Actually, no, we have a lot of stone back at the starter base in bulk storage from clearing out the slime chunk and stuff like that. We have a lot of stone. So yeah, I don't think we're going to have to worry about that anytime soon. But anyway, yeah, these are all the materials we have, all the redstone materials for actually building the functionality of this thing. Now, all I want to do is build the front of it in today's episode. That's all I want to do, build the front. Now, what I have done is temporarily, over here, first of all, I've stored a whole load of grass and dirt. These are all shulkers of dirt and grass filled, and it goes up to 2. Something else I had to do off camera, which took probably about half an hour, not too long, is I had to actually go ahead and change a lot of these modules, because I did them in, you know, mirrored versions of each other, which little did I know that it would start filling up the the display the wrong way round. So this would fill up first, then that one, instead of left to right, it would go right to left, which is not what we want at all. So I had to flip around a whole bunch of the modules, but it should be good now. And yeah, now what I want to do is start work on this front face right here. So I'm going to get some of the materials for that, and I'll be back with you once I have that. Remember when I was worrying about needing blocks? Yeah, we've got over 4 shulkers full of stone, and we've got a whole lot of cobblestone as well. That's actually not as much as I thought it was going to be for some reason. Interesting. Anyway, you can see this is the witch farm bulk storage right here. So I've got a shulker full of sticks, I've got 3 shulkers full of sugar, a bunch of glass, a little bit of gunpowder, about 2 shulkers full of gunpowder, which is pretty good. A lot of spider eyes, a lot of glowstone. So we still got a whole lot of blocks that we can use to, you know, build with, I guess. This is my valuables chest. I don't know why I went in there. It's just automatic at this point. When I first came to this base, just then, I actually opened it straight away. Don't know why. Really not sure why, but anyway, something I don't think we have yet is cocoa beans, which is what I want to use. I want to use some brown dye, and I don't think we have any brown dye, which, you know, to make brown dye you need cocoa beans. So I think I'm going to have to go on a little bit of an adventure here. I'm going to have to open Mine Atlas. I apologize if you can hear some rain, it's just started raining again. But yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead, hop onto Mine Atlas, find a jungle, and then fly over there. Alright, so looking at Mine Atlas here, you can see this is about where we are at the spawn, and the jungles are there, and all the way over there. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be any within close proximity on this side. You can see there's a whole lot of islands, including a mushroom island down there, and a mushroom island up there which we could do stuff with, which is pretty cool. But the thing we're focused on for the moment is the jungles, which the nearest one would have to probably be this one, which is about 4,000 blocks away. Yeah, it's going to take a while. So I'm going to fly there on Elytra. That's negative 4,000, 2,000 around about. So I'm going to fly there with Elytra. I'll be back with you once I'm there. Alright, I apologize for it being nighttime on camera here, but we have, in fact, arrived at a jungle. Now, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm not going to bother chopping down many trees. I just want to get some jungle saplings. So let's see if we can find a small jungle tree. And wow, this place looks a lot more overgrown when there's actually, you know, this undergrowth here. Because I'm used to the iCraft server, which is an SMP I'm in, which by the way I live stream over on twitch.tv. Which I kind of want to do a few more of those relatively recently. So, in the near future, I mean. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing me on an SMP building a base, I'll give you a quick snippet of what the base looks like. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I am definitely enjoying playing on there, doing live streams and stuff. And yeah, if you're interested in that, please be sure to check out twitch.tv/drivefair. Anyway, plugs aside, I have chopped down this tree here. I've got a few cocoa beans. This should be enough. I think, yeah, that turns straight into brown dye. But I kind of want to create a farm for these eventually. So probably not going to be any time soon, but I do want to make a farm for them eventually. Anyway, so now I just got to wait for this tree to decay, I guess, and wait to get some saplings. I think I have Fortune 3 on this axe, so I'll chop down some of these leaves. Okay, looks like we got a sapling. That's good enough for me for now. I'm going to go ahead, head all the way back home. There was a coral reef on the way, which is kind of interesting. We can always go ahead and do that. And I had a bit of an idea with these villages. So I've been running a little server between friends, and what we've done is actually gone around and marked out all the villages on the map and named them different things. I think it could be pretty cool to name villages on if we created a map similar to that, and you know, showed all the villages and named them after maybe people in the comments. That could be a cool idea. That could be a cool idea. So if you want a town named after you, go ahead and drop a comment. And I'll start making a list. I've got a few people in mind straight away that you know, could get a town named after them. So yeah, if that if that sounds interesting, let me know with a comment below. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, fly all the way home, and I'll be back with you once I am there and I have all the materials ready for the front of this thing. You know, I love just flying around. Sometimes it's best to just fly around and not necessarily have to go ahead and, you know, make another portal straight there, because you find some cool things like this. This is a really cool teardrop looking mountain range type thing. It's floating and it looks super duper cool. And this whole mountain range is really cool. What's this called? Mountains. Surely this is more than just a mountains. I guess not. Okay, this is really fun to fly through. Oh man, I really like this, and it looks like there's a pillager outpost over there. I'm going to take a screenshot of the coordinates of that, and we can possibly get some sort of a, you know, farm going there. That could be pretty cool, I think. Anyway, that's for a future time. For now, I'm going to head home. Alright guys, so it is the next day and relatively early in the morning, so I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit different. But this is essentially the design we are going to be going for. So we're going to be bringing back the checkerboard look of, you know, this that we've used up here. And also down there a little bit, if you can see it through there. Yep, we used it a little bit down there. And what I'm actually going to be doing is I'll use just grass as a scaffolding block. Building this up by 5 blocks. So I think that's 5 blocks. Hopefully I didn't miscount there. So we'll be, yeah, bringing that up by 5 blocks. And then this will come across the top here. And then what we're going to have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 buttons, because we have 10 storage modules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as you can see. So that's 10 buttons to, you know, show how many shulkers have gone through each system. And the way I'm going to hook it up is this one is going to correspond to the far one, this one to that one, this one to that one, this one to that one, etc, etc. So yeah, that's pretty intuitive, I'd say, and, you know, pretty easy to follow. Anyway, I'm going to continue this pattern all the way along here, and then do a similar thing on the other side. But before I end up doing that, that's the wrong shulker. Do we have any redstone lamps? Are we out of redstone? We have not enough redstone lamps. Luckily, I grabbed some more glowstone then. Okay, 37 might be enough. So the way I'm going to set this up here is by having 3 7-segment displays right here. They are, you know, relatively small 7-segment designs, but we're not actually going... It's not the normal 7-segment display that, you know, you'd see Mumbo Jumbo or whoever build. That I remember, I think he built one in Season 4 for his spoon counter or whatever. It's going to be a lot of a different design, because it's actually going to be storing the numbers in binary, which allows to store a lot more numbers, theoretically, and it'll be easier to store, you know, multiple of them. Turns out, we need 2 more redstone lamps. Okay, that shouldn't be too difficult. So let's grab that, 1, 2, just like that. Now we have 2 more redstone lamps, and they are going in there. And then, of course, this pattern is going to continue its way up here and across the top here. I'm going to continue this along, and I'll be back with you once I have finished up this front bit here. And there we go. This is the front pretty much done. All we need to do is, of course, add all the buttons in here. So, you know, obviously we press those. And I kind of want to have a display for which ones are active. Maybe we can put that up there, not sure. But anyway, what I also want to do is put dark oak logs facing that way, which we can do by placing grass and then just clicking both the left and right click at the same time, just like so. It's a really cool trick, really good. If you want to use that. It works in creative mode well, but you can also do it in survival mode if you have an instant break thing. And there we go, that is the 7-segment display. Now if you're wondering how this is going to display stuff, you know, it's like how on earth does that display stuff properly? Well, I'm sure you've seen digital clocks, you probably know where I'm going with this, but anyway. So for example, let's display the number 7. Sure. I won't be able to reach down there. Let's place a block down here. And it's backwards. Well, you get the idea. It displays a 7. Obviously, that 7 is backwards, but that would display a 7 along there. Now, that's basically how it will display the numbers. How it stores them, it's going to store them in binary. And what we're actually going to be building next is a binary to 7-segment decoder. Which sounds complicated, but it's not really. It basically converts binary, which is just, you know, on, off, ones, zeros, whatever, to, you know, a display on here, so we can easily see what number it is. That, however, is going to come in the next episode of the survival world, because, yeah, I think the episode is starting to get a little bit long, and for this episode, and I think we're going to get that done in the next episode. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this episode on the survival world. Off camera, I'm going to go ahead and try and get a few more bees, and try and get some bees in here as well, so we can start breeding them up, and, you know, building some of these bee farms. Obviously, that'll be coming in a future episode, though. I'm going to be doing that between episodes. I'm going to be breeding up the bees between episodes. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this episode of the survival world. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, whatever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.